It was a typical Monday morning at the headquarters of Pinnacle Solutions, a leading tech firm in Atlanta, when Karen Mitchell, a mid-level HR coordinator, made a decision that would turn her world upside down. She demanded to see the ID of a woman she didn't recognize, assuming she was an outsider trespassing in the secure office. What Karen didn't know was that the woman was Dr. Nia Bennett, the newly appointed Chief Operating Officer, and her boss's boss. Within minutes, Karen's bold move unraveled in a way she never saw coming. Nia Bennett arrived at Pinnacle Solutions early that day, her first official visit to the Atlanta office since her promotion. At 42, Nia had built a reputation as a brilliant strategist who'd climbed the corporate ladder through sheer competence and grit. As a Black woman in tech, she was used to navigating spaces where she wasn't always expected or welcomed. That morning, she was dressed in a tailored blazer and slacks, her employee badge clipped to her belt, though it wasn't immediately visible. She was there to meet with the regional director, Mark Thompson, and get a first-hand look at operations. Karen Mitchell, 35, had worked at Pinnacle for 7 years. She prided herself on knowing every face in the office and took her role in HR seriously, sometimes too seriously. Colleagues described her as efficient but overly territorial, quick to enforce rules without much flexibility. That day, Karen was stationed near the front desk, filling in for the receptionist who was running late. She noticed Nia walking through the lobby, heading toward the elevators, and something about her set Karen on edge. Maybe it was the unfamiliar face or the confident stride, but Karen decided to act. "Excuse me," Karen called out, her voice sharp enough to make a few heads turn. Nia paused, turning to face her. "I need to see your ID. This is a secure building." Nia raised an eyebrow, her expression calm but curious. She'd been in situations like this before, people questioning her presence in places where she belonged. "I'm an employee," she said evenly, gesturing toward her badge. "I'm headed to the 5th floor." Karen wasn't satisfied. The badge wasn't clearly visible, and she stepped closer, her arms crossed. "I don't know you, and I've worked here a long time. Show me your ID, or I'll have to call security." A few employees in the lobby exchanged glances, sensing the tension. Nia took a slow breath, weighing her options. She could pull rank right then, but she decided against it. Instead, she unclipped her badge and held it out, letting Karen read the name and title, Dr. Nia Bennett, Chief Operating Officer. Karen's face didn't change at first. She scanned the badge, then looked at Nia, as if expecting a different outcome. "This says COO," she said, her tone skeptical. "I wasn't told about any new COO visiting today." Nia's lips curved into a faint smile, though her eyes were steady. "I wasn't aware I needed to clear my schedule with you," she said, her voice polite but firm. "Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a meeting with Mark Thompson." The mention of Mark, the regional director, made Karen hesitate, but she doubled down. "I'll need to verify this," she said, reaching for the phone. "You can wait here." That was the moment things shifted. Nia didn't argue or raise her voice. She simply nodded and said, "Go ahead. Call Mark. I'll wait." Her calmness was unnerving, and Karen suddenly felt the weight of the lobby's eyes on her. She dialed Mark's extension, her fingers trembling slightly. When Mark picked up, Karen spoke quickly. "There's someone here claiming to be the COO. Says her name's Nia Bennett. She's trying to go upstairs, but I don't recognize her." There was a long pause on the other end. Then Mark's voice came through, low and urgent. "Karen, put her on the phone. Now." Karen froze, her confidence wavering. She handed the phone to Nia, who took it with a neutral expression. "Mark, it's Nia," she said. "I'm in the lobby. Seems there's a mix-up." Mark's voice was audible even to Karen, though the words were muffled. He sounded apologetic, almost frantic. Nia listened, then said, "No harm done. I'll be up in a minute." She hung up and handed the phone back to Karen, who was now visibly pale. "Mark's expecting me," Nia said, her tone still polite. "You can check with him if you need to follow up." With that, she walked to the elevator, pressed the button, and stepped inside when the doors opened. The lobby was silent as the doors closed behind her. Karen stood there, the phone still in her hand, as the realities sink in. She'd just challenged the COO, the person 2 levels above her own boss. Whispers started circulating among the employees who'd witnessed the exchange. By the time Karen returned to her desk, her face was burning with embarrassment. Upstairs, Nia met with Mark in his office. He apologized profusely, explaining that Karen was overzealous but meant well. Nia waved it off. "It's fine," she said. She was doing her job, just not very tactfully. But Nia wasn't as unbothered as she seemed. She'd dealt with enough microaggressions in her career to recognize when someone's rule-following was tinged with bias. Still, she wasn't here to make a scene. She had bigger priorities. Word of the incident spread through the office like wildfire. By noon, everyone from the IT department to the sales team had heard some version of the story. Karen's colleagues didn't let her forget it. "You really thought you were going to stop the COO?" one coworker teased during lunch. Karen tried to laugh it off, but her heart wasn't in it. She kept replaying the moment, wondering how she'd misread the situation so badly. The next day, Karen's direct supervisor, Lisa Nguyen, called her into a meeting. Lisa was kind but direct. "Karen, what happened yesterday was a mistake," she said. "Dr. Bennett didn't file a complaint, but you need to be more careful. You can't assume someone doesn't belong just because you don't know them." Karen nodded, her throat tight. "I was just trying to protect the office," she said, but even she didn't sound convinced. Lisa sighed. "I get it, but you escalated when you didn't need to. Next time, check the badge and move on." Karen left the meeting feeling smaller than she had in years. She'd always seen herself as indispensable, the one who kept things in order. Now, she was the one who'd messed up, and everyone knew it. She avoided the lobby for the rest of the week, dreading the thought of running into Nia again. Nia, meanwhile, settled into her role without missing a beat. She led meetings, reviewed budgets, and pushed for changes to streamline operations. Employees quickly warmed to her. She was approachable but commanded respect. The lobby incident only added to her reputation. People admired how she'd handled Karen's challenge with grace, not ego. A week later, Nia was back in the Atlanta office for a town hall meeting with the staff. Karen was there, sitting in the back, hoping to blend in. Nia addressed the room, outlining her vision for Pinnacle's growth. Toward the end, she took questions. One employee asked how she dealt with being underestimated in her career. Nia paused, her eyes scanning the room. For a split second, they landed on Karen, who shrank in her seat. "It happens," Nia said. "People make assumptions based on what they see or expect. My advice? Let your work speak for you. Prove them wrong, not with anger, but with results." The words hit Karen hard. She knew Nia wasn't calling her out explicitly, but the message felt personal. After the meeting, Karen wrestled with whether to apologize. She typed out an email, deleted it, then typed another. Finally, she decided to speak to Nia in person, a move that took more nerve than she had had in a long time. She caught Nia after a meeting, her palms sweaty. "Dr. Bennett," she said, her voice low. "I wanted to apologize for last week. I didn't know who you were, and I handled it wrong." Nia looked at Karen, her expression softening. "I appreciate that," she said. "Let's move forward, okay?" It was a warm endorsement, but it was enough for a second chance. Karen nodded, relieved, and walked away, vowing to be more mindful. The incident didn't disappear from Pinnacle's collective memory, but it evolved into a story about accountability. Karen became less quick to judge, more open to listening. Nia continued to lead, her authority unquestioned. The moment Karen realized she demanded the ID of her boss's boss was a lesson in humility and a reminder that assumptions can come with a cost. Nia didn't hold a grudge. She had seen worse in her career and knew Karen's actions were more about her own insecurities than about Nia herself. Still, she carried the incident as a quiet reminder of why she'd fought to reach her position, not just to prove others wrong, but to create a workplace where everyone could belong. Karen never forgot it either. She worked to rebuild her confidence, but with more self-awareness. The whispers about her mistake faded, but the lesson didn't. She learned that respect isn't about knowing every face, it's about recognizing everyone's worth, badge or no badge. For the employees at Pinnacle, The story became a cautionary tale and a point of pride. It showed what happened when someone underestimated the wrong person and how a single moment could shift everything.